Hello everyone, it's good to see you. I hope you enjoy seeing us.
Welcome to Music Malarkey.
Yeah, welcome to Music Malarkey, episode 13.
Yeah.
Now we're coming closer and closer to episode 20. It's getting exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like I've decided we're going to do something for episode 20 when it happens. We are. But we
just decided that on the spot.
I've just decided that, yeah. But we have a guest today.
Yeah.
And his name is Charlie Hula.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me here. I'm in a good way. Yeah, I'm good. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here, and I thank you very much for having me.
Well, thanks for letting us have you.
Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure.
I'm very excited for this episode.
Excellent.
Because it's going to be a lovely, lovely conversation. And
How's
Sonny,
how's your weekend been?
What, mine?
Yeah. Have you done much? Anything music related?
I've just been ill.
Oh,
Really?
That's it. Yeah, I've just been ill.
That's killer, man.
Yeah. I swear, ever since I had COVID like last year, it's just like my
Just
immune
wipes
system
you out, man. Yeah.
So now I just
Is it?
anything touches me, I just get ill.
Ooh.
So
Rip.
yeah, it's not good. How about you?
It's been alright. I've had quite a lazy weekend, like Saturday and Sunday. Friday I actually DJ'd at a party. It kind of I didn't DJ, but I was supposed to. It was a bit of a shit show, to be honest. I'm gonna rant for a minute.
Go for it.
So I was DJing at this, like, my mate's 18th, and we got there. My mate DJ'd first. He went really well. Like, he did a blind job, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to get on. It was kind of a funny story. These other people came and were like another DJ and a rapper, and they asked to get on. So my mate left them. They started like rapping and doing their own thing. The room just emptied. No one was wanted that party. It just cleared out.
Oh God.
So I went,
Not ideal.
exactly.
No.
So I went back in there. I bigged myself up so much. Like, oh, come on, everyone, get in the room now. It's gonna be sick. Like, it's gonna be the best set you've ever seen. And I couldn't get any fucking sound working. I couldn't get
Oh, no.
What, so they all came in and just
They all came
happened?
in. I spent half an hour just silent. I spent half an hour like, like calling people to come who I thought could help. Couldn't get any sound. Something to do with the decks. I tried 2 different laptops. So in the end, someone just plugged their phone in, put it on Spotify, and I just like packed up, left.
Oof.
I couldn't take the embarrassment.
Damn. Couldn't even stay.
I couldn't even stay because I was so like, I got my, I'd hype myself up too much. You know, when you're like, I tried to turn the nerves into excitement. So I'd like I was overly cocky, and then I just left.
That's killer, man.
Yeah,
And
that's
have you ever had like a really bad gig?
or experience at least.
I don't know. I've definitely done some dead gigs, but the thing is, you just kind of like take it for what it is, and it's like, you know, it is just a bit dead, but like
You can always learn.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like you know, if there's like 3 people in the room, then like I don't know, give them something, like give them something to fucking go away with.
Exactly.
Like,
They came here. They
Yeah,
came here
yeah.
for something. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
'Cause if you're just like, there's only 2 people, it's not worth it. Then
Yeah.
they're going to tell their friends,
Yeah.
this guy didn't play.
And then you've lost 2 people.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the advantage that we have is that like if there is ever any like detrimental tech issues, it's just like we'll just bring a guitar up the front and do whatever we're gonna do with it. Like,
Acoustic.
So, yeah,
Acoustic, that.
exactly.
Yeah, right. Do you wanna explain who you are and what you do?
I am Charlie. I love music. I absolutely love music, and specifically, I love writing songs. I think that
Come to the right place.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I wrote probably the first song, which was really, really rubbish, when I was like 15.
Yeah.
And then started properly getting into it a little bit more when I was like 17. But then like the floodgates just opened, and it was like, okay, this is very much what I want to do. I spent a lot of my second year of college not doing as much work as I should have done, and kind of like making this album that never came out in the end, but it was just like a really good experience to just like start to finish demo out 10 songs and like see where it ends up.
Yeah. Of course.
And then at uni it was the same sort of thing. It was like getting a band and like just really crack on with the songwriting. So that's me, really. I feel like I'm on earth to write songs.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that you know what you feel, what you need to do. Well, just what you love to do.
No, I love that. That's especially like you started at such a young age. You started writing at 15. That's really good.
Yeah, it must have benefited because like I only started writing. Like, I don't pride myself on my lyrics. That's not really how I do music. But
yeah.
I only started writing music like 3 years ago. Like actually, so it must.
So when you were 15.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, sweet.
So it must benefit you now because I guess I'm interested to see how I'll be when I'm 25.
Yeah.
So
I think about this a lot because it is just like how much time. I think like time and effort equals progress. Like if you just like start at some point. So like here's the classic thing. People always say like I used to play guitar or piano or whatever when I was a kid, but I gave up, and now that I'm older, I wish I'd stuck with it.
Yeah.
Everyone
says
like,
that.
we've all got like a different one of those. But like then it would just been like, okay, well, this amount of time has just passed. It's just done itself whilst I've been growing up, and now I can actually like play this instrument or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing doesn't change. It's just it kind of gets harder to start as you get older, I guess. But if you still do it, you know, like lockdown was a good example. Like I like tried to pick up some different instruments in lockdown, which I hadn't done before. I come back to some ones which I hadn't gone with in a long time. And I'm not great now, but I'm definitely not like as bad as I was when I started.
Yeah.
That means you might be good eventually.
Well, you're not going to get worse, and you can use that with other things. Like, say, I don't know what instruments you did pick up, but say you picked up like quite an obscure instrument, you're not exactly going to be the best at I don't know, accordion, and start playing it on stage. But say in one of your songs, you're a songwriter too, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You want to put just a bit of accordion over something in the background, then you can now do that.
Yeah. And that is actually so much for me, like how I've kind of ended up, I grew up with guitar, but I've kind of ended up being a bit of a multi-instrumentalist. And the reason that I hesitate is because I'm not grade 8 on everything yet. But like, I definitely started with that thing of like, okay, this track could do with a little bit of keys or a little bit of bass. I don't really know how, I don't really know what I'm doing, but there's not either of those people who can play those instruments in the room with me right now, and I want the track done now, so I'm just going to mess around with it and see where I get.
Of course. And doing it yourself is always better than getting other people to do it.
Sometimes, but it's cool to be able to, I mean, you get good things out of both, but the good thing out of doing it yourself, I think, is that you get that knowledge. I mean, it's learning, isn't it? Like, you know, I think it's better that you learn it than maybe not that they learn it, because everyone's then got their own own way. But also, I guess that's part of it as well. Like, you know, if I really wanted a friend of mine who's really great at bass to jump on a track, because I know that's what he sounds like on bass, that's kind of like his like character on it, then that's kind of relevant as well.
Yeah, and you can help out a friend. Well, it's like we were talking a couple of episodes ago with Josh. We were saying it depends, like at our age, I mean, this is a bit different. It's not playing instruments, but being able to do everything yourself when it comes to artwork for a track and marketing it and stuff like that, like hosting your own gig instead of going through an organizer is always better because you've got that knowledge there. And then if you need to do it later on in life, you can choose different avenues. And you save a lot of money.
Agree.
But when it comes to like playing an instrument, then you probably do want to just get someone to do it. If they're better than you.
There is definitely benefits to both because some people have so much character in the way they play their instrument, and also sometimes people are just way better than you. So like, because sometimes I don't know. Well, I'm sure everyone has the same thing. Sometimes you come up with an idea that you can't play necessarily, and then you call someone up and say, "Look, I've got this," and then you go. So it goes like da 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 da, and you like just use your mouth because you can't play. And then they just smash it out, and I feel that's like a really good use of other people, but also collaborating. Sometimes, like I say it in every episode now because it's been for so long. I'm in such a block at the moment. Collaborating with other people
gets it unstuck.
It just gets it coming out a bit more because other people say, good idea, or nah, we should change this, and then they bring their ideas to it, and it's just there's no negatives to collaborating with people.
I think
of course,
so.
I agree.
Collaboration is I I want to say a really nice quote, but I don't have a quote to say. Like the collaboration is the fuel of the blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
Unless you got 10 flute players in one room.
Yeah.
Or like 10 producers all doing the same thing.
Yeah, loads of the same person might not.
Yeah. But it can be, I mean, like, yeah, it just like gets you unstuck, and it really, I think actually if you're ever like stuck, or if you're ever like on writer's block, or you just like, with performers, like some people say like I'm stuck in a rut, like I keep on playing this solo or whatever in like the same way.
Yeah.
It's like talk to someone, talk with someone else, jam it with someone else. Like two heads are better than one, and like it will just like get you out of. It's one of the easiest things you can do to like get yourself out of that rut. And you know, it's true with music. It's true with like loads of things. It's true with life as well. Isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. It's like, I do think about it. Collaboration is probably like one of the most key parts of music and life, because if you like sat in your house for a year or even a few months and didn't talk to anyone, then you as a person would be in a bit of a rut.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I'd go insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Exactly. So think about, if you're not collaborating with people musically for a certain amount of time, it's going to have the same effect just on your musical mind. Yeah. So like, to collaborate with people is just like, it's like conversing with people just lets you just speak. Just speaking is like playing your instrument, but through speaking through your instrument, it's going to loosen your brain up a bit in the same way.
Well, it's kind of like if a top scientist is trying to work out a problem, or a mathematician, and they've been like stuck on this same theory for ages and they can't work it out. I clearly don't know anything about maths or science. Then they just get someone else in to help them, or even just a normal person be like, just who doesn't know anything about it. Just
in a way that I haven't seen.
And then it just completely, they could be like, oh, I've never thought of it that way. You know, because you get stuck in like a cycle, stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Maybe you should start collaborating.
Yeah, I need to do more collaboration.
Let's do it, man. Let's do a co-write.
We will. We'll book it in after this. 100%.
You guys should do a set of sessions off the back of the show that's like co-writes or tracks that came off the back of the show. That would be cool.
Is a sick
idea. I've not thought of that.
Write that down.
You could.
I'm actually going to write that.
You could be like vocalist, lead guitar. I'll be the producer for the whole thing.
Love it.
Yeah,
that would be great. We've thought about doing similar things off the back of this, like hosting gigs for all of our artists.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, but I want to do a gig that has like you would come. Everyone that's been on just.
It's going to be a big bill, but that'd be great.
Yeah. Just like
expensive tickets,
or maybe a few. Like if we're doing seasons, we can have like season 1 gig.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And just get like a few artists.
The artists from that season.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if we're talking about collaboration, have you actually done, or are you doing any collaborative projects at the moment?
Yes. My most exciting, my top 2 that I'm most excited about at the moment. First of all is that we just announced fairly recently that we're going on our first little UK tour.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which I still kind of like, I am less nervous, but I'm less nervous because now I kind of believe that it's happening because it's getting closer. The first show is 3 weeks away, 3 weeks and a couple of days away, in Bristol. And then, but also as we get closer to it, it's like, oh my God, there is still so much I have got to sort out before we get there. But it's going to be okay, and it's going to be a great success. And without a doubt, the best thing about it is that the show is building the name of Charlie Hula and Social Wildcard, which is a very collaborative band that I play with. That's kind of a different, very like an endless cycling of different musicians who are coming through all the time. And the kind of little crew of us who are going out on the road, I'm just like so excited to have everyone. I mean, you know, musically, life experience, everything. There's loads of reasons why this is going to be amazing, but also like just the time shared with that group of people where we're going to be able to play on stage for a few nights. Yeah. We've got a few days off in the middle of right in the middle of the 2 weeks, and we're going to try to do some recording around it as well. And what's going to come from that, I'm really excited to see, purely because it's like, what is that recipe of this group of people at this point of time
of course.
going to be like once we're there.
It's really exciting.
Well, because it's more than just like, obviously it's a phenomenal experience. It's going to be amazing, like first ever tour,
it should be really
jamming
good.
out with all these people. But also, you've then got those as friends and as contacts. You can then say you need a bassist, then you just call them up and you'd be like, I love your style. I've worked with you before. Like, let's do something together.
Sonny, you're dead on, mate. And it actually brings me perfectly to point number 2. The second thing which I'm really excited about is we are finishing mixing the first record by my dear friend and close songwriter, Chris Wardy. Chris is coming out on the road with us to play in the band, but also we've been quietly working away at the studio in Hanover. We've been working on his record for like the last year, and it's absolutely fire and it's almost finished. So once we kind of, I think, probably get back from the tour, and I expect around the time at which we're kind of closing the chapter of that kind of release cycle there, it's going to kind of open straight out into the next one of what we're going to do with Wardy's record as well.
That's so sick.
That's what you need,
You've got a proper musician's life. It's like all starting to kick off.
It feels like it's all coming together a little bit.
That's the dream. It's so cool, like talking about spending time working in the studio, and it's just that's really cool. That's what I aspire to be able to say eventually.
Sweet. Oh, that's good.
Like, this time in 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's weird because I feel now, we were actually saying just before we started recording, like I feel kind of recently, I'm 25 now, and I feel only just like I'm kind of I feel like now I'm only just really doing what I'm meant to be doing. Feels like it's only kind of all just come together, and now everything's kind of where it should be, which is fantastic, and I absolutely love it. But I also kind of now, I don't know, I guess you kind of just have to go through all the stuff that you need to go through in life to get to where you are. But I kind of look back on it and I'm like, a lot of not feeling like you were there and a lot of not feeling like you were ready, it's just exactly that. It's just a feeling of like being stuck in your own head. And actually, if you can realize how much you've got in the moment and be that much more present, then you kind of realize how good you already have it. That's probably, if I could like tell myself from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like every time it would just be like, you're doing fine, it's going to be all right, enjoy it as you go.
That's really true, yeah. Because I think a lot like, I need to be here. I want to be there.
It's a lot of pressure to do it, really,
because everyone has their role models, and it's like, they're doing this, and that's exactly what I want to do, and they did it at this age, and this, and it's like I'm that age next year, and I should do it.
But I made a journal, like a list in a journal once that was like, this is like the top 10 musicians, and this is what they were doing at my age, and it was
that's torture.
50% absolutely depressing, and 50% like, okay, actually you're right where you should be. So
because it's the cringiest thing, but it is all part of the journey, isn't it? Because it's because everyone's different. Because like Sonny, you might blow up in a year, like you might get really famous in a year, or 7 or 5 or 4. There's no way of knowing, and you might not ever. But if you don't, then you'll most likely just be happy with what has happened. And it's just like, this is just, I guess, the way that you're going to get there.
No, I agree. It's just, as you said, it's just a journey. You just got to be happy with what you've got. Because I often look at artists like our age, like look at Billie Eilish. She's like our age, isn't she? And she's like massive.
That's pretty mental.
I know she's really talented. I don't know if she's an industry plant or not, but she's done so well. And it's like, why aren't we there? Why aren't we there? But if you look at it, why should we be there now? Like, I'm quite happy in the place that I'm at. I really enjoy doing this podcast every week. Like, we're in my flat, but it's fine. It's great. And we're only going to get better. It's only going to get better for us, and I'm enjoying the place that I'm at now. So why should we?
You can't go wrong with that. Like, I think people will rip themselves apart at the end of the day if they try to get to where they're not meant to be just yet. And ultimately it's just like, if you want to be like on stage at Glastonbury right now, but you're just not at that point in your life, there is no point at the end of the day in like stressing, because you're just gonna be the author of your own headache. And
exactly.
Like,
It's
just like you've got like the journey thing is so cliche, but it's so true. Like I'm trying to live by it all the time because it's just true.
Yeah. It is.
Well, because are we even ready? I think especially for me as a DJ, I keep thinking.
Yeah, would you actually want to be that big now?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be at Glastonbury now. But I mean, yeah, a lot of people would. But I think I'd love to play at clubs. You know, I'm not 18 yet, so I'm not legally allowed to play at clubs. And I'm like, fuck. When I wish I could be 18 so that I could start getting gigs at clubs. And it's like, well, actually, if I can't even set up the sound right at a house party, am I ready to play at a club yet?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Why don't I just practice more until I'm 18 and then do it? I've only got 2 months anyway.
And
I
think it's also like it's important to break it down to like the like little steps of like if there is this massive objective that's like huge and would be amazing if you got it at the end, what's like the thing that you can do right now to help you get there next week, next month,
the
next,
smaller
like, 3
goals.
months. It's like, so when I turn 18, I'm ready for this, and then I'll spend 3 months doing this, and like, as long as you enjoy it all and you don't feel at any point like you're kind of going the wrong way, life's paradise.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, literally. What? Yeah, because I was saying to you earlier, because we're both at music college. Well, not cause we're both at, but the courses we're on and stuff, there's barely any work for us to do, and we're like, oh shit, like messing up on all like organisational things, and like we've got nothing to do.
Yeah, we've got so much. We need to start the website. We need to get a
with
logo.
how everything's going.
Yeah.
So we just people just need to chill.
Yeah.
And just like, it is so true, just being present in the moment, where whatever your beliefs are, it's just a factor of life. I think just because you think about the future and you get worried.
Yeah,
you think about the past and you think about times that you have worried or times that, it's good to think about good things in the past and good things that can happen in the future. But what's happening right now is if you think about it, is actually the only thing that actually matters.
Yeah,
the past has happened, and the future, it's
going to happen. Don't make bad decisions now as much as you can.
Yeah,
and the rest will kind of like do itself.
Yeah.
We got deep quick.
We got there.
Yeah. We got deep quickly because normally the deep stuff comes at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got into it fast. Yeah.
We're in early.
Yeah, this is good. We're in deep now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, do you want to just tell us a bit about your influences? What kind of music you make? I hate putting people into genre.
It's the classic question.
And it is a classic question, but it's always good for the listeners.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think the best place to start for me is always the Beatles, because I grew up playing loads of their stuff on guitar, and I was actually, my guitar teacher for a long time was a dude who had been a roadie for Paul McCartney in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
That's sick.
So it was like, right, here's all of these stories and all of these Beatles songs to learn. And also, I realise now, here is that same way of thinking which came with that band as well, because this dude, totally fantastic person to have had, taught me as much as he did growing up, because it was just like he just worshipped one of the greatest bands of all time for like his whole life and learned everything that he could about them. So I kind of felt like I got that filtered through, like from someone who just like kind of, I don't know if you'd say devoted their life to, but spent a lot of their time like thinking about and learning about the way that that band did what they did.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I kind of realise now, especially when Get Back came out around, was that around Christmas?
I think it was, November.
I think it was just before
November,
Christmas, yeah. I remember, Glyn Jones in it. So a bit off topic, but I met Glyn Jones.
Oh, really?
Like he did a talk at my college, and he was like,
sweet.
He was like, oh yeah, by the way, I've got a documentary coming out about Beatles next week.
That's so mad. That is so mad.
So casually.
Just one of the biggest, like,
one of the craziest things to ever happen. Like,
yeah. And that was like November, so yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Well, yeah, when that came out and I was watching it, I was kind of like realizing like, oh my God, this is just like got Mark's I don't know, blueprint kind of all over it. And I realised that Mark's blueprint it came from doing all of the work that he had done throughout all of his life, and I guess spending that much time learning the music, and also, being out on the road with Paul and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome to think. Wardy, who is probably one of my closest musical collaborators, is also very much in the same boat there with me. So we love them. Like, they're one of the greatest bands. And I think when I started studying music at uni as well, like particularly like music production and like the history of popular music, you realise that like a lot of the work that they did in that kind of 8-year, 10-year period, it all trickles down to like all sorts of, you see what happened in the 70s and then the 80s and the 90s, and it kind of all works its way down, and you can see bits of it in still like all kinds of popular music today. Like even to take like the Billie Eilish and the Phineas example, like Phineas is great because he's like this dude who's really innovative, who's making pop music, but he's kind of like going about it from like a left of field kind of way. And like particularly with his sampling, like the thing in Bad Guy where he's taken the
crossing,
the crossing
road
thing. Is that in Australia?
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like the beep. It's like a beep.
It's like a
oh no, it's the tick.
Weird,
That's it.
noise.
That's it. Right. And it worked perfectly.
And it's mad. It just works as a great little hi-hat. You can trace ideas like that all the way back up to the stuff that was going on around like Sgt. Pepper's.
Well, they were so inspirational for everyone.
Yeah.
Like literally people our age like stopped playing guitar because they hear the Beatles, and they were like almost our grandparents' age.
Yeah, it's like I was looking at, for one of my college assignments, we have to like look at a genre and then all the sub-genres. Like it's a really annoying assignment, but I thought it'd be easy to choose pop and then look at the sub-genres of pop. But like looking at the origins, they all go back to the 60s. All of them go back to the 60s with like the Beach Boys and the Beatles, because that's when it was all new. All of it was new then. It's like when it
before
all
that. Like
before that,
like,
I don't know.
Country people playing guitar.
You had like bluesy stuff was and jazz started. Like jazz was like loads of stuff like that, but pop stuff. Like obviously you could say popular music
was like an epicenter for it.
Yeah, that was just when it all kicked off. So the Beatles are a massive inspiration.
Beatles are huge. Huge love for the Beatles.
If you were to categorize your inspirations into like. So obviously the Beatles are like 60s kind of time. What would you say?
Oh, sweet.
Like if you're going to think about like present day inspirations as well, who would you say?
That's cool.
Think?
That's a really good question.
You can come at it from production and also
or songwriting.
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
There's a few different. So my taste in music is an absolute mess. Like there's all sorts of stuff going on in there. And for that reason, I kind of like I rabbit hole on like different minutiae and different kind of niches. One I would pluck out now would be like folk music and like traditional folk music from, I mean, I've got a lot of love for for traditional Irish music, but also for a lot of like American music and for bluegrass. There's a band called Punch Brothers who are around today, who are, in my opinion, the best band in the world at the moment. They are.
Wow. Okay.
They will blow your mind.
Blue Brothers,
with the Punch Brothers.
Punch Brothers. That's it. Sorry.
With how they can like play their instruments, it's mental. But they're very, very talented. So that's kind of one pocket of stuff. Then I grew up listening to a lot of, like, I guess as all of us did, like a lot of like indie bands, a lot of rock bands. So I think in that kind of like indie world, Foster the People have always been a personal favourite. Like their first record, which had Pumped Up Kicks on it. that's a great album, and I really, really loved that at the time, and then have like kind of stuck with their journey ever since. And they're a really, really great, really interesting band, and I'm excited to see what their journey's going to look like in another 10, 20 years as well. They're only like, I mean, they're just over 10 years old now, so I'm excited to see where they're gonna be as time goes by.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of walking into like funk, soul, bits of jazz. I got a lot of love for, oh God, where to start? I mean,
it is hard.
It is hard, man. Wolfpack, actually.
Yeah.
You guys know Wolfpack?
Bangers.
I don't.
Yeah, very.
I would recommend.
It's all just super cool.
Yeah, it's super funky.
Such
like
a unique
lo-fi,
kind of sound. Yeah.
It's like lo-fi, funky, not many instruments, but like a lot of good groove going
So
on.
much
It's really
feel.
cool
Yeah.
for producing,
So much
actually.
feel. Yeah.
It's kind of like beat writing if you've got like a really tight little 4-piece band.
Yeah, like a tiny drum kit and it's really
Right, yeah. Or like if you're using
Wolfpack are
Ableton
really cool.
without any of the pro versions, like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just like, it's really simple production kind of.
Well, often
But-
that's the best way to produce.
Yeah.
Even top artists, like we were talking about the Beatles earlier, their production
Yeah.
a lot of the time it's very outside of the box, but it's also very simple. There's nothing
Well, to
really
do
complicated.
it, and that time it wasn't simple to do though. Like
Right.
cutting
Yeah.
up, cutting
It
up
depends.
tape and
Yeah, 'cause, like,
layering
stuff
tape,
like that was like
I like
crazy.
how they panned
Yeah.
it like with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
microphones.
oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but they're a really great band, and also from like a business perspective of like how to run a band, like a successful band where you've not gone for the major label route, but still have sold out Madison Square Gardens within 10 years.
That was
of
a
starting.
sick gig.
Crazy.
That was so cool.
That's crazy to be able to done that. So, they're pretty inspirational to me from that perspective as well. Then I'm going to cap it off with a bit of guitar talk, because I did grow up a guitarist, and I think I've really kind of, in the last few years, found my love for that instrument, particularly through playing a Fender Strat. And so then you've got like your love for, I mean, there's a great guitarist who plays with Wolfpack called Corey Wong.
Yeah.
Dude knows how to funk.
Yeah,
He's really good.
He's pretty insane.
Yeah, he's great. And he was very inspired by Nile Rodgers. So there's a lot of really good funk stuff there.
Yeah.
Then kind of going more over to two guitarists who are really great today, Tom Misch and John Mayer.
Tom Misch is
They're
so,
great.
so,
They're really
so
good musicians,
Yeah.
but they've done their work over time, and they've like, you know, like John Mayer has learnt so much blues. Like he's such a blues head like, over his life.
Yeah.
And Tom Misch has got this really great education in jazz as well, equally as much as he does in beat writing.
And
which is
violin,
kind of where
doesn't
he
he?
started.
Plays
Yeah,
violin
dude,
as well,
does,
yeah.
the dude does everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So I don't like, there's a huge spread, and like that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like I think that I'm a big believer in that there's no such thing as objectively bad music.
Yeah,
Because that means that-
we've spoken of this before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be the way, because even stuff that is like absolutely crap, and like even if it was like the worst song that you could define that I've ever written or that anyone's ever written, if it serves you to getting better at your craft, then it's got value.
Yeah.
And even if it's like, you know, a huge anthemic pop tune that's actually really sometimes just not a vibe, but like that stuff like that might like make someone's day or even like save someone's life at some point.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's
some
got
people
value.
are just majorly connected to a song
Yeah,
that I
man.
would hate.
Yeah.
And it's-
Yeah.
And we have spoken about it before. It's so true.
There's
Yeah.
always an audience
Like,
out there,
when
no
we had-
matter what genre.
Yeah.
When we had Louis on, he was talking about. I'm sure. You know Jacob Collier?
Yes.
Yeah. He was talking about Jacob Collier's like rendition of Jacob Collier's
literally just
rendition
went-
of
just
Moon
went.
River.
Yeah.
Sonny, do you want to start a video again? And we
Yeah.
can cut it. We can cut that in. But
What
Yeah.
happened to it? Do you know?
It literally just stopped.
it just randomly stopped.
It
But
might have run out of like.
I don't think it. You have to click that thing. Yeah.
Might have run out of storage or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it has.
We'll see.
But so Louis was talking about his rendition of, Jacob Collier's rendition of Moon River, and that and I was saying, because my parents really don't like it. They think it's a bit too much because there's obviously all these voices and crazy harmonies and stuff.
Yeah.
But Louis, it makes him get really emotional.
It's
just stuff like that.
That's such a good example. I think for me, I just really like doing music because it makes me happy, and I really like being happy. I want to do that all the time as well.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
And I just think if you just kind of really sink your teeth into it and just learn as much as you can about as much of it as you can, it only serves to help you.
Yeah, there's no negative.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I
think that's true.
Same with
I would almost
everything
go as far as say it's a fact.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We sorted it out. We worked out the meaning of music.
This is perfect.
In 36 minutes.
Yeah. I think
result.
It's recommendation of the week time.
Yeah, I mean, we've already sort of covered it.
And this is going to kill us when we're editing this, but I want to have a thing here. Something flash up here, okay? Really cool. Maybe above up here. If you're watching this now and there's nothing there, then we didn't know how to do it, okay? But yeah, recommendation of the week somewhere up there above Charlie. So yeah, what would you like to recommend?
Recommendation of the week this week. It is going to be a classic. It's going to be what I think stands to be probably top 3 greatest albums all time.
Yeah.
Abbey Road by the Beatles.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's just never wrong to put it on.
Now flash up a picture of the album cover in my hand. Oh, I'm making it really hard today, and then a shooting star as well.
Some big explosion,
massive explosion. Yeah,
it's fine. It's not like we've only got a week to edit,
and it's not like we don't. It's not like we don't have any video editing software or know how to use any software anyway.
We've got plenty of time.
You'll be fine.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be okay. I really hope we do get that stuff. That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. But yeah, I have written down on my page here. Lyrics ?
Lyrics.
So, what's your
very
process?
descriptive note?
Yeah. What's your process when it comes to writing lyrics? Because I'm always interested because I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's just I can't do it. I find it hard to do. So I'm just how do you write lyrics? Does it just come to you or?
Yeah, and I actually think I would argue it does to everyone as well, but. We spend so much time going, no, but that's actually not good, so I'm not going to write that down.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Put it on the page, let it be there, and stick with it. I think the trick for me was realizing that you need to not be mega critical of it and actually just done is better than perfect.
Yeah,
because
we've
once
been told
it's
that
done,
before.
Once it's been done, then you can kind of improve it as you go and make it better.
That's true.
And the more that you do that, the more that you kind of start to realize the things that you like about it, the things that draw you towards a certain, sort of way of writing or something. And I don't know, eventually I guess you just learn, you just improve and you get better, and then you are not shit, and maybe one day you will be good. Hopefully one day I'll be good.
That is something I really need to do, because the done is better than perfect thing. That's a really good way of saying it. I haven't heard it said that way.
I've not heard it said that though.
Yeah.
Done is better than perfect, quotation marks.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
But it's because I just have 30-second snippets of songs in my laptop that they're well produced but I just it just stops there. Maybe 10 seconds, 30 seconds, it just stops. So it's never done.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same with sorry. It's
no,
the same
I wasn't actually going to say anything.
With producing, I tend to say I'm making just a beat, right? I'll make a drum beat and then I'll be like, oh, I might change the velocity on these hi-hats at this bit, and you go into such weird little details.
Yeah.
When really you should just make the whole thing 4 bars long and then go into the arrangement and then go into the minor details. Just have a basic thing. And people have told me that, and I really struggle because when you start going to such little details, you then struggle to know what to do next.
Yeah. Because you you go down the rabbit hole and it's like, okay, I've been like looking at these hi-hats for like 3 days. I don't know which way is up. I don't know what time it is. I don't know where I am.
And then you've just lost the flow of the song.
Yeah, and your creativity's just gone. You're just like, fuck this, I want to sleep.
Yeah.
It's such a, it's again, if I'm talking about like relating it to a conversation, if you're just like, if I'm just talking right now and then we stop and talk about the word now for like
that is such
10
a good
minutes.
example. Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, so it's an interesting word. And then by the time we finish talking about the word now, we'll be like,
what are we talking about?
So if you that's my main problem when I'm writing a song. I just always stop on one word. But not literally.
Yeah.
Stop on one thing, or just stop on when the thing
like
is normally a
something-
section. Like
Yeah.
It's like
Like
the
a
first bit of the
sentence.
song. I'm working on that for so long. I feel like what I need to do is, as soon as I've got the first bit of the song, just go right now. Make the next bit. Just do it. Whether the lyrics
exactly.
even if there's no lyrics, it's then just to actually just do it.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
It's kind of what everyone says, but no one can actually really do. Like Shaggy the Second in our second episode was like, oh, I just like sort of say gibberish and then eventually I go back to it and turn it into more proper words and then eventually I make the words make sense together. And I think that's what you need to do instead of trying to get them like making perfect sense.
Yeah,
And
that's a good method. That sounds like a really cool way to approach it as well.
Yeah.
You can, you get it done that way.
Well, he says he just finds a flow.
Yeah,
and then just.
I mean, he's a rapper, so it's a bit different.
Yeah, but
singing,
still,
maybe,
there's a lyrical flow in any lyrics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
man.
like cadences and all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also just like be like, right, I don't like this line, but I'm going to circle it and I know that it's rubbish, or like
Come
bold
back
it
to it.
and come
Yeah.
back to it
Yeah.
and like, right, that's not good, but it's done. I'll come back to it. Next line, let's go.
Yeah, like even maybe timing yourself. Just
Yeah,
well,
that's
not
a really
just saying
good
like
one,
I need
actually.
to finish it in an hour because
Yeah.
but then it's not finished. It's not finished, obviously, but you've got
Yes.
the foundation of it. Like my piano teacher says to me, this is in like a notation way, but like he'll kill me if this is wrong. I can't remember exactly how he says it, but it's like he says like the bars in the music are like the bricks,
Right.
and that's the. But if you're thinking from an architectural standpoint, you need the bricks to like make the building, but the actual architecture and what makes the building beautiful or really interesting is like the phrases, and the phrase might be three and a half
good.
bars,
Yeah.
or like it's not measured in like musical terms, but it's the phrase, because if you just play a bar, it might sound really unfinished, but if you play a bar and a quarter or a bar and a half, then that's the phrase.
Yeah.
So like,
That's great.
Where am I
I
going
really
with
like
this?
that, actually.
I don't
No,
really know,
really like
but
that.
that's what he says. So I think when it comes to making a song, you just need to let it flow, because if you're focusing on focus. I just said it already, but yeah, that's what my piano teacher says.
Yeah.
Get him on the podcast. He sounds
Yeah.
like interesting.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, we should have a teacher series.
I have actually been thinking. I've got a few teachers at Northbrook who have said they'd like to get on.
Oh, sweet. You should take them up on that,
I know.
actually, because like not everyone is as cool as teachers. As teachers go, no offense or disrespect. So I'm not going to name any past teachers, but like if they're down, take them up on it.
Well, especially the teachers that I don't know if BIM teachers are the same.
I'm pretty sure music teachers will be the same.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I feel like a music teacher at Basvic compared to a music teacher at BIM or at Northbrook are quite
It'd be
different.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
agree.
my music teacher's teaching is a sideline for them, a side
Yeah,
hustle.
yeah.
They like
They're
playing
in the
gigs that they go
industry.
to and
Yeah.
supporting New Order and like
Yeah.
DJing and doing their own thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, no, this is kind of how the podcast goes. Every time it gets to like 40 minutes, it's like,
And now we're off on a tangent.
Wait,
But that's
good. Wait. So we need to bring it back with, I think, the maybe the worst music news anyone's ever heard.
Music news.
But I'm trying to remember what you said earlier, Charlie. What you
Well,
said
I'll
earlier.
let you
music
take it
news.
away.
Yeah, let's do it. In the music news this week, Summer of Soul won, I think, best soundtrack at the Oscars. I can't remember exactly what, but I think it's best soundtrack. And
Okay.
the soundtrack is absolutely sick.
Is that-
Really?
Yeah,
I've never
it's
even
great.
heard of Summer of Soul. So
Summer of Soul is great. I would really recommend it. It's on Disney Plus, and it's about a festival that went on in Harlem in the summer of 1969, which is like the same summer that Woodstock was on. They had Stevie Wonder, BB King, Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Decent lineup.
Yeah, just like this amazing lineup of black musicians. It was for the black community and everyone in Harlem at the time, and it was just like but nobody was interested at the time, and like the tapes have just been sat in a basement for 50 years because the dude couldn't sell it.
No. What's that? They just found
the tapes, and they made a movie with like footage and mixes of the concert, and absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, I think I have heard of that now that you're saying.
Yeah,
sounds amazing.
Wow. So the soundtrack is that's
one best soundtrack. Well,
so it's just like live, like awesome live music from all of these amazing musicians. So.
Sick. To add on to the music, Oscars music news. I watched a film with my girlfriend last night called Coda, which won Best Picture at the Oscars.
Heard about that, yeah.
And it's about a girl who loves to sing, and her whole family's deaf. So she's like
her whole family.
Her whole family is deaf. Like, well, I don't know about her like non-immediate family, but you don't see that. But and she like wants to go to Berkeley and pursue it and stuff.
Mad.
But it's just really interesting because like she's sung her whole life.
Yeah.
But her family, they don't even necessarily know. They can see her, but like they don't know. And there's just some that is a really sad bit. Well, not sad. It's just
it sounds
sweet. It's not a spoiler, but like where her dad finally gains an understanding of what's happening, and he just touches her throat while she's singing to him, and they're outside, and it's just like
vibrations.
Yeah, it's just really nice, and he finally has somewhat of an idea of how beautiful his daughter's voice is. It's a nice film actually.
That sounds sick. Yeah, I need to watch that.
Same. I think having your family not be able to hear you sing might not be the worst thing ever, because think about it, when you tell like, especially with my mum, you've met my mum.
Yeah.
If I'm like, I've made this really good song, check it out, and she'll, no matter how bad it is, she'll be like, oh, that's amazing, well done.
Yeah.
You know, I could be like, I want to go to the moon, and she'll be like, oh, great, you do that.
You can't tell the parents. You can't tell your parents.
They'll just like support you no matter what, and sometimes you need someone to be like, no, listen, so like that's kind of shit. That song, you need to work on that.
Imagine that was the film. That'd be shite. That'd be awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's music news. Music news at the Oscars. Last week we spoke about the whole Will Smith thing.
Yeah.
So
madness.
we don't need to go into that.
We've all said enough about
that. That's done. It is crazy, but it's done. I was on YouTube today, and there was a video that popped up, and it was like 360 POV video, you get slapped by Will Smith, you are Chris Rock POV.
Yeah,
and it's like this animated video where it's like 360 and he comes up and slaps him in the head. It was really interesting actually. I felt like I was Chris Rock, which is crazy. But now, God, it's always tough after music news what to talk about.
It is. I've got a question though.
Hit me
bit of a bit of a difficult question, but where do you see? Obviously, you're going on tour. After that, you're playing with Chris. Did you say you're doing some work with him?
We'll get Chris's record out, and we'll do definitely a Fat Brighton show around.
Of course, we will be there. Of course,
sweet, love that.
But where do you see yourself going as an artist, as a musician? Do you want to venture into other avenues in music, or what?
I would love to end up in a really good place with it. You know, we're definitely shooting with the intention to end up in like a really successful place.
Nice.
Of course, you have to have that intention.
Yeah, I think so. And I definitely, like to clarify, I definitely mean that in like the traditional successful musician way. Like if we were playing on the main stage at Glastonbury, that would be around the kind of place I'm thinking.
Wow.
That's what you need.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm a big believer in like shooting for the big stuff, and if you don't get it because of things that are out of your control, and make no mistake, work hard and do everything that you can to make sure that you get there, and that if you don't, it's because of things that were out of your control, not because you didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
But if then it doesn't work out, you can come away from it at the end of the day with your head held high.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that you've only really just done what was, I think, the best thing you could have done at the time. And also, I think you'd probably still end up in a pretty good place. You'd probably still be pretty happy with the other results. I guess a good plan for me is one that has like a good endpoint and a good objective, but also the knowledge that it changes along the way. That's definitely built into our plan, that we know that would be amazing. But if it doesn't happen, the kind of tangents that it might go off on or the other places we might end up would still I'd still walk away at the end of the day feeling happy. So.
No, I think that's a really good point.
Goal.
That's I think we've spoken of this before. Like, people make mistakes, that happens.
Yeah.
As long as if you sit there and sulk about them and like, feel sorry for yourself, you'll never learn from that mistake. You'll just like feel sorry for yourself and have regrets. If you have no regrets and just think, right, that happened. Here's how this is not going to, here's how I can make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yep.
And the next time I'm in a similar situation, I'll be much better than then, you know?
Yeah.
As long as you do that, then you'll be happier and you won't be bitter and living in regret. And two, you'll be more successful because you'll learn from all of your mistakes.
Yeah. Amen,
100%.
man.
100%. That's a perfect final message, I believe, before the final question of the episode, which is, as I say it, it's going to pop up. What is your music malarkey, Charlie Hula? In 10 words. We forgot to say it last time, but you have to answer it in 10 words. No, I'm keeping that rule. It makes it a lot harder.
We have a bit of a disagreement about the 10 words.
I'm going to go with it. I like it. It sounds like a challenge.
Okay.
A.
Yes.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Balanced.
Yeah.
Diet.
A healthy, balanced diet. Yeah.
Of. Varied. And.
Yeah. Of varied and.
Fun.
Yeah.
Informative.
Yeah.
Music.
A varied diet. Was it a varied diet?
I thought you were writing the words down. I can't repeat it.
Not that quick. A balanced diet of varied. A balanced diet of varied and fun, informative. There's something else. Music. It was 10 words.
Musical.
I think healthy and balanced were both in there.
Healthy and balanced. That was it.
A healthy, balanced diet
of varied and fun, informative music.
There you go.
That's 10 words.
Something like that.
There you go.
Well done.
Sweet.
Well, that was
good. It's interesting how so many different people interpret that question.
I know. I love it. It's so good.
Like, some people, it might just be like, we've had people that are like, bashing pots and pans in the studio.
Yeah.
And we've had other people like, so in life as you move on, like going quite deep. It's just so funny how
we see
it's great.
It's where your true character comes out.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've got that question.
Yeah, it's my favourite question.
Apparently my true character is completely illiterate, but we move.
Yeah, you just exposed yourself. And we'll just cut you off straight away now. Well, that's been episode 13 of Music Malarkey. The first, we've got last week's Zoom episode, but the first real video episode. We're sorry for the little interlude.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll put a really, really cool and funny video in between. And it's going to be the most crazy.
You're going to be busy this week.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on, Charlie.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. I hope that you can make it down to our show at the Comedia on Friday the 6th of May.
Yeah. Plug your stuff. Go on.
Plug.
Speak right into their eyes.
Come to the Comedia on Friday the 6th of May to see the last night of our tour, which is going to be absolutely great. The show's going to be amazing, and I think we might have a party afterwards as well.
Yes.
We've got the first single of my new EP out at the moment. It's called Just Give It Time. And you can also stay posted on the socials at Charlie Hula to hear the next single coming soon.
Woohoo! Bash. There it is, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thanks for
tuning in.
Everyone, thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
To Music Malarkey. Cheerio. Au revoir.
Music Malarkey.